everyone, welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we're going to be making this super awesome beanie. For this project, I'm going to be using size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn, and I'm just gathering up all my scrap yarn I have left over from old beanies. If you're using a chunky yarn, then you won't need 2 strands, only 1. And so what I did was I just took my yarn balls and I just divided them up into smaller yarn balls like this so that I can have 2 strands of every color. And we'll also be using a size K or 10.5 crochet hook. So go ahead and grab your first color, which this is going to be the top of the beanie. And what you're going to want to do is grab both ends of your yarn. And we're going to treat these 2 strands of yarn like they are one for the entire project. So we're going to start this off with a magic circle, and we're going to place 11 double crochets inside of it. And if you're unfamiliar with any of the stitches used in this pattern, then please check the links in the description because I'll have my stitch tutorials listed down there. And once you have your 11 double crochets in place, then what we're going to do is we are going to place a slip stitch in the top of that first double crochet stitch, but we're going to yarn over with our next color. And from here, what you're going to do is you're going to place double crochet stitches in between your stitches. So you won't be inserting your crochet hook up underneath the top of that stitch, but instead you're going to be placing them in between each of these stitches here. And what we're going to do is we are going to place 2 double crochets in between each of our stitches. Just like that. So go ahead and place 2 double crochets in between each of your stitches, and when you get to the end of your row, you should have 22 double crochets for this row. And when it comes to your last set of double crochet stitches, you're just going to place those up underneath that slip stitch of your first color, so right here. And so from here, we're going to place a slip stitch in the top of our first double crochet, so right here, and we're going to yarn over with our next color. And then the pattern for this row is going to be to place 1 double crochet in between your first 2 stitches and then 2 double crochets in between your second and your third stitch. And you're just going to repeat that alternating pattern, placing 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochets in between your stitches, going all the way around your row. And when you get done, you should have a total of 33 double crochet stitches. And when you get to the end of your row, we're just going to repeat those same steps of placing a slip stitch in the top of our first double crochet stitch, and then yarning over with our next color. And the pattern for this row is going to be to place 1 double crochet in between your first and your second stitch and your second and your third stitch. And then you're going to place 2 double crochets in between your third and your fourth. And you're just going to want to repeat that going all the way around your row, and when you get done, you should have a total of 44 double crochet stitches. And that was our last row of increasing, so from here we're just going to place a slip stitch in the top of our first double crochet stitch and yarn over with our next color. And then from here we're just going to place 1 double crochet in between each of our stitches in this row. So at the end of the row we should have 44 double crochet stitches. And that's going to be your pattern. We're just going to keep doing that over and over and over again for roughly 7 rows. So I went ahead and added 7 rows following this pattern, and now it looks like this. So I went ahead and switched to the color that I want to use on the brim, and we're going to start with this first double crochet beside our crochet hook, and we're just going to start placing single crochets. And you're just going to want to place 1 single crochet in each stitch in your row. And when you get to the end of your row, make sure you skip your slip stitch right here and just dive right into your first single crochet stitch and continue placing single crochets. So you're just going to want to continue placing single crochets to finish out your brim. So I went ahead and placed 5 rows of placing 1 single crochet in each stitch in my row. So to finish this off, we're just going to place 1 slip stitch in the next 10 to 15 stitches. And then once you're done placing your 10 slip stitches, go ahead and cut and tie off your yarn. And I just like to weave my tail in the direction that I was crocheting for a few stitches and then up the inside of the beanie. And I will link to my DIY pom-pom maker in the description. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were making this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.